Who would you say out of the current crop of current players could be tipped to be the next big manager? English or otherwise, who could end up with the England job?
Well, that's a good question. Out of current players,
Who's like a natural leader on the pitch?
I don't know why, but James Milner is screaming at me.
Yeah,
I
he's
could
on the
see
coaching team at.
The Football Drop Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Football Drop Podcast.
Another episode and another week where we record, and we've seen each other just days before.
Yeah, I'm glad you got that in so early again.
Thank you. Take three. I got there.
Yeah, it was a nice little mandate, wasn't it? We had a bit of fun, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. A couple of beers, some food. Naturally, we had some chicken and some halloumi fries. It's a staple. It's actually a staple of our friendship, isn't it?
It is. I feel like if we
beautiful.
didn't have halloumi fries and chicken, there would be no Ben and Will. There would be no FDP. It's just one of those things. Beers, chicken, cheese. That's us.
Yeah, and we had a bit of a heart-to-heart. I feel like true feelings came out.
They did, yeah. You actually opened up for once in your life, which was quite nice, and I thank and applaud you for that. Some of what you heard with Dan Abrahams obviously went in, so that was good.
Mate, can I just say, I feel like we're rehashing content, we probably do, but how deep was that episode? But how incredible was it listening to him?
Yeah, it was good. I haven't had much feedback, actually. I need to go out and speak to a few people just to see what they thought about it. But yeah, I thought, wow.
Brilliant.
I think you had something, didn't you? I can just picture you now just sitting there with your mouth open.
Yes. Yeah, that was... No, Rob said, yeah, it's like all I could see was that because he watched the clips on YouTube. And so if you don't watch the podcast, guys, you've got to watch that episode. I feel like I was almost like fanboying and kind of like starstruck a little bit. So he started reading off the people that he's worked with over the years, and I'm just sat there like, it was incredible.
It was incredible.
But yeah, so it was quite nice. So I opened up, told you how I'm feeling. Obviously, it's been a difficult couple of months, to be fair to say. But you opened up in a very different way. You said some very different types of feelings, and I potentially didn't feel safe in my own car.
And I still stand by it.
That's what's weirded me out more.
Not doubling down.
You haven't doubled down. You've like quintupled down at this point.
No, so it was fairly innocent. It was a bit of a slip up of words, I think, but I'm going to stand by it. Why not?
Hang on. No, I'm interjecting because you cannot say it's a bit of a slip up of words if you've just doubled down again on this podcast.
Yeah, some and some.
So, mate, come on, spill. I'm getting a bit red now.
So you've had quite a bit going on over the last couple of months where you are newly single and ready to mingle. Well, I don't know if you are, but I've said that
Definitely
you are.
not.
And this is where this all stemmed from. Where I was gonna say, getting quite excited for you and your kind of single life. But what I actually said was I'm horny for you, which are two very different things.
And you'd had at least 3 or 4 Bud Lights at that point. So you were like well on the way to Drunk Town.
I was absolutely wrecked out my nut, and that's when the truth comes out.
Swaying on his chair.
I was trying to sway on yours with you, but you wouldn't let me.
Yeah, because you literally said seconds before, I'm horny for you.
Yeah.
Can I sit next to you? No. Stay there.
Now you mention it, it is a bit of a weird thing to say to somebody, isn't it?
It really is. Do you feel it's weirder now that you're saying it, knowing that this is recorded and people are going to hear you and go, you said what?
Yeah, no, I think I'd figured that out before.
Oh, okay. Fair play. Glad you owned it up. But no, it was a really good night. It was just nice to just chill, to be honest, wasn't it?
Always a pleasure to see you. We did say, right, let's do the predictions. And then we struggled with the predictions. And then you said, I'll do them when I get home. And then we didn't release any predictions, but I think I got 3 points from it. So
you definitely got 3. I think I got probably 21, 22, if I remember correctly.
Sure, yeah. So you're still a couple behind, are you?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, the way it's been. I feel like we've missed I think this is like our 4th game week we've missed this season.
No, I think we've only done 3.
So we probably just need to avoid it at this point.
Nah.
Well, it's not a fair competition, is it?
Let's chat.
Not a fair contact.
So how are you though? You all right?
Yeah, I'm tip-top, mate. Thank you. Tip-top. It's been good.
Good.
Nice long weekend.
Oh, yeah, happy Easter. How's your Easter?
It's been great, mate.
Yeah?
It's been absolutely brilliant. Seen some friends, seen the family, seen you as well. No, it's been good. And obviously we got our Man v Fat challenge. And it is, Monday evening time recording. I've not had an Easter egg.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Because of this challenge. I'm trying my best.
That's impressive.
Yeah. How's yours been?
Yeah, nice. Yeah, obviously started off with an absolute bang by seeing you. And while we're talking of bangs.
You wanted a bang, yeah. But ain't happening, no matter how horny you are for me.
Then Saturday was a pretty chilled day. Sunday, we had a nice day yesterday, sort of around family. And today, again, with family. So, yeah, it's been nice. It's been a nice one. I haven't actually had an Easter egg, I'll be honest. But
really?
I've
Well
had,
done.
mini eggs and Dubai chocolate and other chocolates. And, yeah, it's just been intense.
Yeah, I have sensed a bit of a recurring theme for you this weekend. Because I'm not sure how many texts I've had saying, I need to stop eating. I need to seriously, Ben, I need to stop eating.
Yeah,
and I haven't. If I can't remember what it was, but if I have 3 litres of water, will that negate the effect? I can't remember what it was.
I'd eaten about 3,000 calories. I said, I've just drunk 3 litres of water, so that kind of balances it all out.
100%.
So I'll probably have to do the same again tonight, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to football tonight, which is disgraceful.
Well, it's not on, really. It's just a friendly week.
Football's on. Yeah, football's on. But it's an hour this week.
Yeah,
more time.
I've had a migraine all day. You're lucky I'm here. I'm just going to crack on, get this done, and then get it edited, released, and get back in bed, mate.
Well, I hope you listeners really enjoy that.
Do you want to join me?
Definitely in it.
Do you want to join me?
Definitely in it. I'm just going to glaze over and ignore what he's saying. But
I'll glaze over something.
Episode. Oh my God. Jesus. Can you tell Will's partner's pregnant? My Lord. Jesus.
Should we move on to the football news?
Yeah, probably. Do you, it's probably a silly question to you, but do you ever, now and then, just feel like you're really old?
Do I ever feel I'm really old?
Yeah.
Every now and then, yeah.
Yeah, well, I had one of these moments, I think it was yesterday or Saturday, when Cardiff announced that Aaron Ramsey is their new head coach at the end of the season.
Yeah. Player coach, no experience.
That's mental, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I think it's one of those, isn't it? Because it led me to come on to a wider question. But to answer your question, it's a bit bold, isn't it? But it's worked for Southampton with, for God's sake, his name's just gone straight out of my head, and Adam Lallana. I can't remember their interim head coach now. But it seems to be working for them. They seem to be doing quite well.
Yeah. Ivan Juric.
Sorry?
Ivan Juric?
No, he's gone.
Oh, it's Ruskin.
Ruskin, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so it seems to have worked for them. They've been playing quite well since he's taken over. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, they got a point at the weekend.
That's what I mean.
Mental.
And they seem, they actually look like they are playing quite well for a relegated team. But you don't know what's going to happen. They could just have that manager bounce for the last few games at the end of the season, and then they can regroup. But it was quite unexpected for me that he took over, I'll be honest. Was that a bit unexpected for you? How do you feel about it?
Yes and no. I think once they confirm, I think that year it's like, I don't care, I don't want to be here anyway. I've not done my job.
I meant about Aaron Ramsdale, but yeah, sorry. Ramsey. Oh my God, what's going on today?
This is your migraine and your horniness. But yeah, it is weird, but I think it's probably just a case of give him a bit of experience, and the players are going to be bought into him for the rest of the season. Let's just G him up for the last few games. They've only got, 2-3 games left. I think no one else can come in and do a job. And who would want to come in and do a job for 3 games? Ramsey's an easy option. Find someone else in the summer that will see this project and see the long-term vision. I think Cardiff are potentially still at risk of being relegated, aren't they? So that probably decides their budgets for next season, I think, as well.
Their game's playing now, aren't they? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, there's a couple earlier on. But I'm sure that they're potentially still at risk to go down. So it's probably less risk, I think, than anything else. He knows what to do. It's just all you need to do is motivate them for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That's all they've got left of the season. He could probably do that and see how it goes.
So there's 2 games left. They're on 43 points. Luton are above them in 22nd on 46, and then Derby out of the relegation zone on 46 as well. Hull on 48. So 2 games left. So, they could probably, they are probably going to go down.
Yeah.
But they have got the opportunity to escape.
It's a tough job. So get someone who knows the club, who's been there, knows what's going on, and hopefully get a bit of a drive for the next couple of weeks and then see where they go. But even if they go down, he's not failed. No one can expect him to definitively keep them up. And then for next season, they can plan for League One.
Yeah.
And get someone at that level who can take them straight back up again.
It's always a strange decision when you've got 2 games left before the end of the season and then you decide to sack your manager. I just find that a bit strange. Yeah. But, question for you. So, with the likes of kind of Redknapp, Allardyce, maybe even Dyche, those sorts of older school managers almost being pushed out of the game, we'll see whether Dyche does come back in. I think there's room for him, but I don't know. Because he does have that old school feel about him, but I could be wrong. And the newer people coming in, so like Russell Martin, you would never really heard of him back in his playing days, etc., etc. You've obviously got Ashley Cole, who's tipped to go do well. Frank Lampard's doing quite well at Coventry, finally. Rooney, never really sort of taken off with anyone just yet. And then obviously you've got John Terry, who I think is probably working his way into a managerial position. Steven Gerrard as well, you could say he's been hit and miss. Who would you say out of the current crop of current players could be tipped to be the next big manager, English or otherwise, who could end up with the England job?
Well, that's a good question. Out of current players,
who's like a natural leader on the pitch?
I don't know why, but James Milner is screaming at me.
Yeah? He's on the coaching team at Brighton, isn't he, at the minute?
I think, he's on the team. He's still a player, but he's done badges and things like that. But yeah, I see someone like him. He sounds horrible. He's got a bit of a beige personality from what he's known about him. He's not going to upset anyone. Kind of similar to Southgate ilk. You can't really say a bad thing about him. He's a nice guy. Everyone seems to talk quite highly of him. But he's not known as, oh my God, he's amazing. It's like, you know what you're going to get. He's consistent. He will deliver what you expect him to deliver. So I think someone like him, I get the impression someone like De Bruyne is going to be amazing. Yeah, someone like like Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne could be good. I'm just thinking anyone else kind of in the leagues at the moment. I'm just trying to think of like older players really. It's just quite difficult now. You've sort of thrown me a bit. But yeah, James Milner, I think. Maybe Lallana. I could see someone like that potentially. Because he's had that experience at the top level. He's been in sort of winning teams, winning mentalities with big players, so he knows sort of how to manage them, what their thought processes are a little bit. And Milner's obviously done even more so, of course, with big teams. So yeah, maybe people like that. Jack Wilshere, I feel like is going to be good. And obviously he's doing the assistant stuff at the moment. Where did he go to? Was it Norwich?
Yeah.
It's your favourite team, not your second team. But yeah, I think someone like him, because he's been around absolute like world class superstars in big teams, knows the pressure, has played in big games, can kind of understand that. But also, obviously through his injuries, probably understands even more so about that sort of player mentality side potentially. What about you? I suppose you've got someone in mind if you're sort of posing that sort of question.
Yeah, well, I didn't because I was sort of struggling to think because my mindset kind of went to who makes a good manager. It tends to be midfielders. They seem to make the best manager. There are obviously exceptions for that.
Nuno, goalie.
Sorry?
Nuno, goalie.
Exactly, yeah. Him and Lopetegui, I think, are the only goalkeepers that's ever done anything. But yeah, there are certainly exceptions to the rule. The first person who came to my mind in terms of like who is a natural leader on the pitch went to Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, okay. Rice.
Yeah, Rice is another one.
I was thinking like that older sort of person that's kind of near their level of, near the end of their career. I didn't think about Bellingham. Yeah, good shout.
Yeah, and then I was also thinking, I think it's the era of the number 10s at the moment because they seem to be the ones that do the creating. They come back and if you know, as Arsenal fans, if we look at Ødegaard, I think he would be somebody who would be great because the vision that he sees, you know, and you could say Cole Palmer as well is put in there, Phil Foden probably as well. You know, the vision that they've got in that sense of like they can come back and they can collect the ball and then they can drive it forward is that kind of that new age kind of midfielder, I guess, you know, with the exception of people like, you know, Partey, Rice, Bellingham, etc., etc. And then I was kind of thinking, who's like a real obscure one that seems like they're a natural leader, has got someone really good to learn from, and has got that potential. And I came up with Damsgaard.
Okay, interesting. Why Damsgaard?
Because of what I just said, basically. And I was thinking, who's kind of obscure? Because it's never who you think it's going to be. No one ever thought Arne Slot playing at wherever he was in the Dutch league that he would be who he is today. Same with Ancelotti. You know, Ancelotti was good, but he was never. You never sort of saw him becoming as successful as he has been. Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, Jose Mourinho, those sorts of people. You never really saw them who they were going to be. So who's sort of in that position, but is kind of playing at that level, and that's where I come up with him.
That's quite
no other reason. No other reason.
No, that's quite a good shout. Yeah, I think someone. Do you know what? I think he's retired now, but I feel like someone like Cazorla or Monreal would be great coach. Not necessarily managers, but coaches. Yeah, I think Monreal, just because, from him, you know, he could play. He sort of played anywhere across the back, but he sort of played a little bit further up at times, sort of like pushing left wing back, left midfield at times. So he kind of understands that. But maybe I'm just being a bit biased with like the Spanish mentality. Because I just feel like Spanish players, they just understand the game just totally different to everyone else. Then maybe like someone like him. That's a good shout. Good question, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah,
Thank
great
you.
topic. Well impressed with that. You should do a podcast.
Cheers. I might think about it, yeah.
Should do. Leicester are relegated. Officially now. They have been relegated. I think it's been coming for a while, let's be honest. Not been the greatest of seasons. The Van Nistelrooy appointment, you've said it a few times. What were they thinking?
What was he thinking as well? Not just them, because he's an active part in that decision making. What the hell was he thinking?
Maybe he saw something. He saw some potential. Maybe he just potentially saw him. This is a stepping stone to get a job.
You have a belief, don't you?
But
if you're going to take a job, you have a belief that you're going to be good at that job and you're going to save that team. And that's obviously what he thought. But why?
Wasn't he obviously, we never know whether it's true. We don't have the sources. But everywhere I sort of read was saying that he was promised money in the window to obviously have some players, and they just didn't really do that. He just wasn't backed. And they've had a couple of injuries as well, which hasn't helped. But again, it's not an excuse. Like, yes, it affects your performances, but I mean, they've got the worst run in Premier League history now of not scoring. 9 games
at home.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Crazy.
It was back in December, wasn't it? I think when they last scored their home a goal at home. They haven't won at home. Like it was all. I think there was one draw, maybe. I think the only time they've won in the last sort of 13, 14 games was against Tottenham. It is.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
Absolutely unreal. They were terrible. Really, they needed some investment, as you say. And even just watching them at Liverpool yesterday, they were absolutely brilliant by comparison to what they have been.
Yeah. And they hit the post, didn't they, twice?
Yeah. So I think Liverpool hit the post twice. They definitely hit it once.
They hit the post twice and the crossbar, and then Trent banged it in, didn't they?
Yeah, but Mavididi, they've got some really good players. Mavididi and Didi, obviously Jamie Vardy, who's probably going to come to the end of his career soon. Buonanotte, they didn't have a bad team. It was just the creating of those goal scoring opportunities, and it's probably confidence. I mean, if confidence is actually just as we learned in the last podcast episode, is unbelievable that you need that. Look at Rasmus Højlund. That guy needs some confidence. Like he is it's unbearable to watch him, and that's kind of how it feels like with Leicester recently.
Yeah, I mean the Højlund thing. Just touching on that, I mean he should have scored at weekend, and I can't remember who was doing the analysis, but one of them said he needs confidence. Like if he had confidence, he would have got there. Like, he would have just believed he's getting it no matter what, and he would have just got a toe on it, and that goes in. But when you're not confident, you fall short. I mean, you know what it's like on the pitch. For us, we only play bloody little five-a-sides, but when you're not feeding it, or I do it, especially in goal, I let a couple of cheap shit goals in. All of a sudden, I'm like, my head's dropped. I've got to pick myself up. So it's fine. Reset. Here we go. If you're not
aggressive monster,
you're not going to get
monster.
there.
Aggressive monster.
Yeah. There we go.
That's what you need.
Abraham special.
It is as simple as that, isn't it? It is as simple.
Can be, yeah. Especially for these elite, athletes, professionals, whatever. For us, it's probably slightly different, but that mentality is still the same.
Yeah. I think it's the same. I think if I was focused and I could focus myself on that aggressive monster, just as an example, focus on that aggressive monster. Right, I'm going to be an aggressive monster. That's it. Bang. And it's almost like when you do go a goal down, or two or three, right, bang, aggressive monster. It's 0-0, aggressive monster. I need to be the first step ball. As long as you're doing everything you can to be first step ball, hit that ball as sweetly as you can. Doesn't matter.
No, you do your best every time. If you do your best every time, you can't be annoyed. You might lose. Exactly. You still might lose. It's not going to change the way the game goes, but it changes the way you analyse it.
And I think you're right. I think that's where you say aggressive, like Rasmus Højlund, for example, or even Leicester, they could be like, right, aggressive monster. But like, there has to be a point where you're like, this aggressive monster is dog shit.
Well, that's a perfect clip for the pod reels.
No.
I'm going to clip it up. Dan, what do you think of it? Aggressive monster, I think it's great. Well, I think it's shit.
Small on the pitch, just not being able to get that ball in, not being able to score, not being able to save the ball, whatever it is, they must be like, fuck off. I don't buy into this aggressive monster anymore because of all of those things that are still happening, despite me going aggressive monster. There will be other stuff going on in the background, but you must get to that point.
Yeah, 100% happens eventually, no matter what level you're performing at, whether it's Premier League or grassroots or whatever, and any job really. It is a mental state. Yeah, if your team are underperforming for such a vast period of time, yeah, it's always going to take its toll eventually. But if you see glimmers of hope, that could be that difference.
This is why
it's tough. It's very tough.
This is why I will always have deep inside of me
a horniness for me.
Vulnerable horny for Ben.
Oh mate, you're so weird. I don't know what to say, so let's try and move on.
You're blushing.
Yeah, mate, I told you I'm getting really hot in here.
So take up. No, it's not. There was a midweek game, wasn't there? Newcastle absolutely thrashed Crystal Palace 5-0.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
That absolute demolition. Do you know what we haven't spoken about? Champions League.
Okay, shall we continue with the topic that we was talking on, and we can come back to the Champions League at the end? Shall we do that? Yeah. No, because you're right. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So Newcastle beat Crystal Palace 5-0, and then they went to Villa and they lost 4-1.
Yeah. I mean, Villa were... I don't know if you've seen all the game or just highlights or whatever. I've only caught the highlights of it. But
was it
the highlights
at 3 o'clock?
Was very long.
Wasn't it at 3 o'clock?
Yeah, I don't know, I can't remember. I don't know if you've seen it. Someone may have...
Not a 3 o'clock kickoff, no, there's a blackout across the United Kingdom.
Yeah. I don't know if you'd seen it. But honestly, they were just amazing. Villa just played off a bit. And I think, was it Watkins hit the post twice, I think, as well?
Yeah, Watkins was really unlucky. Good goal. But yeah, he did get unlucky not to get a couple more. I thought
Yeah.
Onana, mate, that goal was absolutely unreal. Just smashed it as hard as he could into the top corner.
Power did he generate from it?
Yeah,
That was, I mean, for me, that was one of the goals. It's a contender for goal of the week.
definitely. I don't think it is the goal of the week. I
It's
think I'm
not.
stuck between two.
I think I know what one you're talking about. We will come on to that one soon. But yeah, Villa. Just sticking on Villa for a sec, just while we're talking about it. I mean, Newcastle were pretty crap. Villa were good. Villa were very good for the second half of their Champions League game as well.
Yeah, unbelievable, wasn't it? They were so unlucky.
It's just that dodgy first 20 minutes let them down.
Mm.
Because PSG were just all over them, weren't they? But what
And fair
an
play as well.
entertaining game.
Yeah.
Really entertaining game.
And fair play as well for Ollie Watkins to come out and say that I was frustrated, and Emery to say, yeah, he was frustrated. I thought I like that. I did like
really
that.
refreshing. Yeah, he's like, yeah, of course I'm fuming. He explained why. It's not just I'm angry, I'm pissed off, blah blah blah. He's like, no, I'm fuming. I'm not playing because we've all worked hard to get here, and they're the games you want to play. It's like, yeah, I've got 20 minutes, but I don't want 20 minutes. I don't want to be on the bench.
No,
of course I'm talking to him every week. I'm talking to the manager. What do I need to do? How can I get on the pitch? But when you've got such a good squad, and you've got some really good signings that they've made in January, albeit some are on loan, of course, but it's hard to keep everyone happy. And that's the best problem to have, I guess, isn't it? Everyone says it.
Yeah. Completely agree. I thought it was quite refreshing. Now, talking of being fuming and a little upset, how do you think Richards is feeling after his second yellow card for Crystal Palace against Bournemouth? Did you see that?
What one was this one?
So he did a chat. I can't remember. He did a challenge on someone, and then he hit Kluivert's hand, and Kluivert fell over, and he got a second yellow card. But it was minutes after Bournemouth escaped their second yellow card for probably something that was a bit worse, but almost identical to that challenge. I think it was Scott who did the foul. Got away with it. Okay, yeah. So
the Kluivert and someone incident of the.
Sarr, where he pulled his
pants down.
Sarr, he just pulled his pants down. Yeah, that was really funny.
That was weird. I still can't understand what he was doing. Like,
well, they had a bit of a scraffle, didn't they? And they were like, oh, yeah, he was on the floor. He was like, oh, bosh, yeah, that was.
This
funny.
is what you would do on the pitch, isn't it?
I'd love to. Yeah, let's move on from that anyway, because you don't remember it. Brentford game was good. 6-goal thriller, 4-2 to Brentford. I enjoyed Brian Mbeumo and Vissa link up again. They're unreal, aren't they? What a pairing.
They are, and it shouldn't work, should it? Two strikers trying to outscore each other, trying to be the best striker for their team, but they really support each other. They always set each other up whenever they can. But if the chance there to score, they're going to do it. Whenever they're celebrating, I don't know if you've noticed it, they always look for each other straight away.
Well, it's because normally they've set each other up, but yeah, they do.
Yeah,
no,
it's just such a nice thing to see, though. And
yeah,
is this the start of two men up top again?
Well, they kind of
it's working.
They don't play like a 4-4-2 though. They play quite kind of a 3-2-3-1, don't they? Really, that's probably not enough players on the pitch. But you know what I mean. They play a 3 and then a 1. So, and Buemo's normally out on the right hand side.
How many subs do they have, mate?
16. No, what do they play? Sorry, they play a 4-2-3-1. That's what they play. 4-2-3-1 with Buemo out on the right and Sharda was out on the left on that game.
Whatever they do, it just works. I think they understand their sort of positional play, I suppose, as well, and what their roles are. And they will, Wissa he does seem to end up everywhere as well, across that sort of front four, if you want to call it. And I think Buemo ends up top for a little while, and they're just so interchangeable, and it's clearly worked for them. We've always banged on about Liverpool doing that, didn't they? When they had the sort of Firmino days and things like that. And it worked incredibly well.
Certainly does. Yeah, no, it was an enjoyable game. I did like that. I think Brentford, it's good to see them get the win. Brighton seemed to be dropping off again a little.
Yeah, what do you make of their season so far? So I see
Mixed,
lots of people are like, yeah, they're doing well. Yeah, I agree with you. It's very mixed. It's been very hot and cold all season.
Yeah, I mean they've lost 9 games this season. 3 of them have come within the last 4 games. So I think it started well, and it's definitely ending on a bit of a slump. 10th place, 48 points. I think Brighton fans would have probably hoped for more coming into the season, but I think they will still be happy. I mean, I don't know. Let us know, but I think they'll still be happy. With 10th place, they're still sort of edging towards that European place. So they're within that fight. I think they're in an area where they would want to be, and I think they'll be happy with that. I think the last few results, the last sort of 5 games, I think, do you know what? We could have done a little bit more. We could have done a bit better. That has really put a bit of a stop to that European charge. But I still think they're within a shout.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting to see. What was the other game? Arsenal put in a good 4-0 performance against Ipswich.
Oh, mate.
Ipswich didn't seem to have much fight, especially when it went 2. They just felt like, to me, it looked like they just rolled over.
Yeah,
especially
they did.
Obviously, that red card, wasn't it? I think that did it.
Yeah, definitely a red, by the way.
100%. That was dirty.
Yeah, Arsenal just too strong for them. I think they had a couple of changes. I don't know why. Delap didn't start.
Yeah, I didn't even read. Yeah, of course. That's odd.
But yeah, I think he just seems to change it. Maybe he needed a rest. Maybe they thought, well, what's the point in risking him against his next team? Let's not show them what they're going to get, and just kind of leave it. But no, they didn't. It was a really convincing Arsenal win. I did enjoy that, obviously.
Yeah. No, that was good.
The Chelsea Fulham game was an interesting one, wasn't
it? Yeah. What did you make of Fulham's first goal?
Why?
I think, obviously, I appreciate this is never going to happen, but it should go down as a Reece James' own goal.
Right.
He lost the ball, and I don't know why. I just ended up watching him. I can't remember who got the ball off him, but I know Iwobi did. Obviously, got the goal. He didn't even bother to run back. He did a half-assed jog and just left them.
Yeah,
absolutely left them. If you lose the ball like that so easily as well, you've got to just bomb it back.
Yeah, I don't think I noticed. So
honestly, it was awful, mate. I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh. I mean, Chelsea fans, I'm sure Ali will tell us tomorrow and moan about it. But it was just so poor. But yeah, it was a good finish. And then who scored Chelsea? Oh, it was the guy who was like Saka, wasn't it?
George.
Yeah, that was a good finish.
Let's not go there. It's George. Yeah, he was.
He does look like Saka, though, doesn't he? He looks like a mini Saka.
And I thought Pedro Neto, who had a really good game. What a goal!
Is it yours?
And Buemo gets a shout out for his second goal. That was outstanding.
That was outstanding.
I think Pedro Neto, was it his second goal? I can't remember. But Pedro Neto gets it anyway for me. I think goal of the week. Pedro Neto, the twist, the touch, the twist, the turn, the shot, everything about it was unbelievable. Well done, Pedro Neto.
I love a goal that bounces up into the roof of the net. Don't you? It just gives it so much more like oomph. Yeah. And he absolutely fucking leathered that as well, didn't he?
He did. And Man United, mate. Oh my God, again. They were just, I know we've spoken about it a little bit about Hoyland, but as a team, they were just absolutely shit. But they came back against Lyon and they managed to knock them out. Terrible. Wolves safe. Ipswich probably down now as well, we should say. I know we've been saying that for a long time, but mathematically able to climb out of it, but next week they'll be down.
Yeah, next week will confirm it, won't it? And I believe Liverpool can win the title Wednesday. Is that right?
Yeah, I think Arsenal have to lose though, don't they, on Wednesday?
Is that what it is? Okay.
We've got Palace, haven't we?
Yeah.
So there's 5 games left, and there is 13 points in it. So that'll be 4 games. Oh no, that'll be 3, 6.
This
9,
weekend.
That'll be 12. So they can win it on Wednesday. They only need 3 points.
Lose.
No, if we win. Because they're 13 points. If they win and we they have to win. Yeah, that's it. That's done.
Have they got Spurs Wednesday, haven't they?
Is it Spurs? Spurs play today, don't they? Yeah, it's Spurs. No, it isn't. Sunday they play Spurs. Okay. Arsenal play Palace. Fucking hell. Arsenal play Palace on Wednesday. Liverpool play Spurs on Sunday.
Oh, that's it. Right. Okay. Got you. Got you. Got you. That'll be an interesting game. Don't know how I feel about it. I'm a bit torn.
Why are Arsenal playing on Wednesday?
Because Palace got the FA Cup semis on Saturday. There we go. So, yeah. But can we just talk about Arsenal midweek?
We can.
You watched the game?
I did.
I watched the game. What what a roller coaster of emotions that game was.
Tell me about it, yeah.
Penalty calls. Right, did you understand why we got a pen?
Not initially.
When they blew the miss.
Not initially.
What's going on?
You just saw the ref run up to the thing, and you're like to the screen, and you're like, what's happening here? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, it's going to be a penalty for us. And then they showed you what's happened, and you're like, oh my god, that's a penalty.
Yeah.
It's absolutely outrageous. How it took like 3 minutes or whatever it was for it to get to that is I don't know, but it was definitely the right call. I mean, one of the worst penalties I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was. I've seen all the Arsenal fan pages are like, yeah, well, we're already 3-0 up. It doesn't matter. It shows that he's got confidence, blah, blah, blah. I'm in the total opposite camp of just fucking bury the pen. Just kill the game as early as that's a perfect opportunity to kill that game off with a pen that nobody felt we really deserved, because they don't get given in the Prem, do they? Those sort of things very rarely get given in the Prem.
Yeah, sometimes.
So the fact that we got it and it was like, okay, you just got to bury it.
Yeah,
agreed.
He didn't. He tried to do a little dink, didn't quite go according to plan, and then Mbappe had a penalty given and a yellow card for Rice for not a lot, but I was convinced that wouldn't be overturned.
I was exactly the same, and I could understand why it wouldn't be overturned either. I thought it was lighter than what our pen was, to be fair. It was definitely a softer pen. But I just thought, if he's given ours, that's a pen. And we were just so lucky that it wasn't given, really.
Yeah, agreed.
Changed that game.
And then, obviously we scored, didn't we? A nice little goal from Bukayo. And then Saliba, who I hear often, he's the Rolls Royce. He's the Rolls Royce of defenders.
Yeah.
Just didn't see Vinicius coming in. I think you said you didn't even see it, did you?
I didn't. So I was in the pub watching it, and it absolutely kicked off when we scored. Everyone in the pub was jumping up and down, screaming, shouting. I was so close to a screen. Literally, the screen was in front of me. It was a body length away. It was like 6-7 foot away, max. Jumping up and down, obviously pint in hand. We're all like, yeah, come on. I looked over. All I saw was Vinicius celebrating. I was like, what the fuck? What happened? Genuinely, it was 12 seconds or something stupid after. I was like, what's happened? Saw the replay. I was like, oh my fucking God. What is going on here?
And then Madrid couldn't muster up anything else, really. Chucked everything they could at it, but didn't really get into the middle of the park. Tried a few crosses. And Gabriel Martinelli managed to break away and score a lovely little finish. Nice
little neat finish. So we are the only team that Real Madrid have never beaten in European competitions.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
What's an incredible stat, isn't it?
It is great. I do enjoy that. On to PSG.
Tough game.
Which is obviously not going to be easy. None of our games in the Champions League will be easy, but we've beaten them this season, so there's no reason why we can't do it again, although they are a very different team to the team that we played earlier on in the season.
Very much so.
And they're French champions, so they've won that, and they are unbeaten in that, I think, still. I could be wrong if they've lost this weekend, but I don't think they have.
No, they're 1-2-1.
So, they haven't got a lot to play for. Just that, really. Similar to Arsenal, I guess, in that sense. But, be
they can rest players, can't they? They've got no one's going to chase them down. No one's going to close that gap. Whereas we've still got, there is a chasing pack still trying to get second, albeit they're a little bit further away.
We've got second.
But we as a club, we definitely need to prioritise the Champions League now. It's probably one of our best chance ever. Apart from that final, really. The only other final we've got to. But we're nowhere near there yet. Still got to win our next 3 Champions League games to get that trophy.
That is true, but it's only 3 games.
It's only 3 games. It's going to be 3 tough games. If we get through to the final, if we do manage to beat PSG across 2 legs, who would you rather face, Barcelona or Inter Milan?
I think probably Inter, to be honest.
Why?
Because Barcelona are a real. It's a good question, because Barcelona are a threat going forward, and Arsenal are probably defensively sound, but they've got such a threat going forward, and defensively, Arsenal can score, but Arsenal don't really have an out and out striker. I know that hasn't mattered against Real Madrid, where we had similar. They had a great attacking force, but I don't think Real Madrid are the complete package as of yet. With this team, I think next season they'll be a completely different force. And Barcelona just seem to have taken that to the next level. So I think I'd rather play Inter, who have got a threat going forward and defensively, but I think that might work into Arsenal's favour, where they can kind of hold the ball when it's going forward and ping it out and break away.
Yeah, I can understand the reasoning.
But we don't like the low block, which Inter Milan do play. So it could be, I don't know.
That's exactly why I think Barca is a better game for Arsenal. Even though you got the history and stuff like that before, but they play such a high line.
Yeah, that is true.
Saka and Martinelli could get behind. And they haven't got a physical team as much as what Inter do. So set pieces and stuff, especially corners for us. We've been good. First half of the season we were sensational, but not so much second half. We were just incredible at set pieces. So it could be there as well for us. But I see what you mean. They are so good going forwards. They play like 7-8 people attacking at all times. So it could be difficult to then get it out, but who knows? I just hope we get there. Just hope we get there. That's my first wish.
Yeah. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
Absolutely.
Anything else to add?
2 big games. No, mate. No,
We can
just
round it
saying
up
it's
there.
a pleasure.
Thanks
for
for
your
so
time,
much.
Will. Hope
I
you feel
really
better soon.
appreciate you. You know how I feel about you.
No. Thanks for